Hi everybody, it's Andrew Hutchings with you here again today. And still not a doctor, never giving medical advice. If it seems like I am, I'm just consolidating medical information, putting it in one place along with my opinion. And this video is about working smarter, not harder. And it's not about fitness, but it could lead to you having more time to spend in the gym. So one common thing I've noticed with pretty much everybody I know is they're always very busy with school. Now, I go to school too. So what is it when people take the same classes as me, or less classes, or different classes, but point is, regardless of the exactness, why is it that I have so much more time than everyone else I know? Well, it's because not to sound full of myself, but perhaps I'm just smarter. That's very likely. But there's another thing. I know how to learn material and how to use my brain. What I mean by that is, so some classes build on each other, and some classes are completely unrelated to something else, and you just have to memorize it. So if you took an anatomy class, you would have to just memorize all the different bones, muscles, tendons, ligaments, etc. If you took I don't know what kind of class, I was about to say language, but language also builds on itself, but it is largely, you have to just memorize a lot of stuff. But then there's classes like math, science. Now, not all math, like if you go from algebra to calculus, you can't just apply algebra to learn, maybe you could, I haven't done math in a long time, but other things like, say, chemistry and biology. If you know basic chemistry and basic biology, and then you're like at this level, and you take a class that's at this level up here, you take what you know, and you figure out the little bit higher stuff. You don't need to actually study all that stuff and learn it. You just need to apply what you already know. So yeah, it's good to go to the class, hear it, and have it already have kind of casually gone through your head. But then when you're doing your assignments, you don't need to read the book and learn all the stuff and then answer it, just like copy what you read, put it onto the answer. You may need to do that with some things that you can't apply what you already know, but try to apply what you already know to figure out something slightly more complicated or just slightly different. So say, for example, you know basic chemistry and you know what amino acids are, and you're learning about proteins and how they tend to fold and be in the human body, which is in an aqueous environment. So if they were to ask, like, what would cause part of the protein to be on the inside, or how would you know how the protein's going to do some stuff? You think back to your chemistry, because biology is applied chemistry. So then you go, I know. So the fundamental thing about chemistry, in case you don't know about chemistry, is where electrons are. So you'd go, well, I know that when there's lots of electrons, there's negative charge. And when there's a little bit deficient in electrons, there's positive charge. And if it's spread out evenly, there's no charge. Water. You got your oxygen and your hydrogen. Oxygen's a lot more electronegative. I mean, you should also just know that water is polar, but if you didn't know it, then you apply your knowledge and you go, oxygen more electronegative than hydrogen's, pulling the electron charge to the oxygen, making oxygen negative and hydrogen positive. So then water is polar. So if it's in a water environment, we would probably want the polar parts of the protein to fold on the outside so that the negative charges or the positive charges of the protein can interact with the negative or the positive of the water. And then they would fold the non-polar ones onto the inside somewhere. Not the best example if you don't know anything about biology or chemistry, but those are the things I study. And really, I learned pretty much everything I need to know in high school and a little bit more in university, but I also studied on my own extra after I took AP Biology and AP Chemistry in high school, plus I was reading medical and scientific studies every single day. But by the time I finished high school, I knew general chemistry, general biology, general organic chemistry, and I'd say that's like 85% of what you need to know to get an entire university degree. Because what you learn in the basics, you just apply and figure out the more complicated stuff. You don't need to read that the protein is going to have the polar parts on the outside and the non-polar parts on the inside. You just know that because you apply what you already know about those basic concepts to something a little more complicated, like a protein. Let's see if I can think of something else. I mean, mathematics is a great example because you just build up slowly but surely. I did math when I was a lot younger, so I don't think I did this. I haven't really done much math in university. No, I'm not leaving a handprint on my wall. So yeah, use what you know to solve what you don't know. And only if you can't figure it out with your own brain, then look for the answer. Because if you look for the answer, you're not even really learning anyways, you're just memorizing. It's when you have your base knowledge and you keep growing it. You use what you know to develop further knowledge. It's kind of like back in the day, we had scientists who figured out incredible things. They didn't go to school to memorize the rules and everything. They developed these rules from their own heads. They took the little bit they knew and they kept building on it, make it a little bigger, little bigger, little bigger, little bigger. And eventually they knew such incredible things that even if you were to study for 10 years today, you would never understand them. I mean, maybe you could comprehend them, but you would never be in a position like them where they could have formulated it from nothing, basically. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm one of them, but you gotta take what you already know and build on it. That way you don't spend hours studying new material. Most of the time I don't study at all. I just take the tests, I apply what I already know to the new questions. That's how you're supposed to do things in life. You take what you know to figure out a new situation. You don't need to be taught exactly how to handle every new situation. If you do, you're not smart. You're just an automaton. A computer can do anything that it's told. A human should be able to figure out new things based on what you already know. Now, I'm sure computers will eventually be able to do that too. But you can teach a monkey how to play tennis probably. I mean, tennis isn't hard, but you could teach a monkey how to do something. But the monkey isn't going to figure out how to do it on its own probably. Now, I'm sure there are smart monkeys out there, but you get my point. As an intelligent human being, you don't need to be told exactly how to do every new situation. You don't need to be told the answer to every question. You can figure them out on your own. Just use logic and reasoning. And that cuts down your time so much. Like, I do all the same school stuff that everyone I know does. Plus, I relax a lot. Plus, I go to the gym a lot. I walk around a lot. And I get a lot of sleep most of the time. And then I'm always like asking my friends, hey, you guys want to hang out? And they're like, how do you have time to hang out? Don't you have school? It's like, yeah, I do, but school's not my whole life. I don't need to spend every second of my waking hours on school. If you do, you're doing something wrong. I'm not saying this to be mean, it's to help you, because once you figure this out, you'll have so much more free time that you can actually live life rather than having life live you. You control your life rather than life controlling you. So instead of having your schoolwork dictate your whole life, you spend some time on school, you spend some time doing other stuff, you spend some time going to the gym. You get my point. I don't think there's anything else I really need to say. So yeah, probably right at first. You don't want to just start taking your tests and winging it. That's what I often do. I know I should study, but it's once you realize how to use your brain, it's really hard to push yourself to study. Because the last thing you want to do is spend any time that you don't need to spend on school. So yeah, I probably won't get a 100% on every assignment because I don't look in the book and memorize all the answers to all the questions that they're going to ask. I just go to the test. I'm like, oh, think about this for a minute. I'm not thinking back to the book. Oh, what did I just read? What did it say in chapter 12 about this? And then, oh yeah, I remember that phrase. Let's type it out word for word. No, it's just you synthesize some new thought and you figure it out and you apply what you already know and use logic and you solve it. And you're going to be wrong once in a while. The times that you're wrong, it's going to be helpful to learn that you were wrong, and then you can change the way you think about things so that you don't make similar mistakes in the future. It's kind of like a self-driving car. Every time they crash, they reprogram them a little bit so that it won't crash as much in the future. Every time you make a mistake, you reprogram your brain so that you don't make the same mistake because you know how to change the logic patterns to solve new stuff. I hope this video is not too confusing or odd sounding because it's really a great topic. It's really the only way to go through life. If you can't do it, that sucks. But just give it a try. Next time you're tempted to go look something up, use your brain. You don't need to look everything up. Only if you can't figure it out on your own should you look it up. Or you can figure it out on your own and then look it up to confirm what you thought. I know that I did that for many, many years when I was younger. Nowadays, I often don't even bother looking stuff up because I know I'm right 99% of the time. And I know when I'm not sure of myself, and that's when I look stuff up, if I care enough. So yeah, at first you should probably look up the things like every time after you synthesize a new thought about how something is, because then you fine tune. It's kind of like you do testing for the automatic cars. You don't just build the program, send it out on the street. You build the program and you run it through the test runs, and then you realize where the faults are and you tweak it until it works good. So that's what you got to do with your brain. Trying to get better lighting. Hope you like this video. Yeah, I should say my normal ending stuff. Check out my other videos. Check out my Instagram, natural_true_fitness. You can hire me for training advice. You can hire me for diet advice, supplement advice. You can't hire me for medical advice, but you can hire me to consolidate medical information, put it in one place, along with my opinion. Coming soon is my book on tendinitis, so you can actually get rid of your tendinitis wherever it is. Stop spending all the time at the doctors, money. The worst part is that you don't get rid of your tendinitis and you're still living a subpar life. You're not living life to the fullest. So get rid of the tendinitis, live life how you want to live it, and stop wasting your time and money. And then after that, so tendinitis book, I got to finish the cover of it, basically, and just update the about the author section. Then after that, I will try to get my blood pressure medication or supplement on the market so that if you are unsure of what the best blood pressure medication is to take, or your grandfather or grandmother, instead of having 10 different doctors tell you listen to your doctors, don't listen to me, I'm not a doctor, but if you want to get rid of the complexity of all the different things out there, you can just go with what actually works, which will be in my product, and it will be the safest options. Safest, most effective. So you can actually have incredible good blood pressure medications that are very safe. I don't know why they use all these crazy things. Well, actually, I do know why, because they want to make more money. If you find something that works perfect, sooner or later you're going to stop making as much money on it because other people are going to be making it and it's not going to be as special. So then you got to go, oh, but we found something better. Better for their wallet, not better for you. So then they make something new. They have, called, not a patent yet, maybe it's patent, but when, I'm having a mental blank on this, sorry, but when you make a medication and they can't make generics for a certain number of years. So yeah, my blood pressure medication is going to cut out all that gunk. I'm not trying to market some specific thing that I can prevent other people from copying. I mean, I'd like if they don't copy it so I make some money off it, but yeah, I'm just going to pick what works best and what's safest. Yeah, hire me for health consultations, fitness consultations, whatever.